Natural, another True Players podcast episode, hitting you with the in your face, unedited, straight, blunt talk about sports, finances, relationships, current events, and many other topics along the way. Check out my next episode. What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Dom coming live natural, another True Players podcast episode, hitting you guys up after week 4, recapping both the New York Jets and New York Giants games. Great to have you guys back on the show to present this episode for you. A lot of surprises this weekend, a lot of refereeing in the Jet game, and the Giants just got smashed. Basically. But let's get to. I'm going to go to the Giants first. Last night's game was not a good game for the Giants. You know what I'm saying? So I was great to see Geno Smith doing his thing. Even when he got caught up in that horse collar tackle early in the game there, where he missed a few series. But it's good to see a former Jet quarterback actually playing great football. Something that we expected from him in the Jet uniform, but unfortunately, the Seattle Seahawks reaped the benefits. And what we saw last night from Geno Smith was something that we hope to have in the Jets on the Jets center soon. But let me get into the Giants really, because let me tell you guys something. Somebody need to call an APB on Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, because they're not getting to the pass. They're not getting to the quarterback right now. Not getting to the quarterback. The Giants' offensive line can't block for shit. So let me tell you something. Daniel Jones got sacked 10 times last night. Had 3 turnovers, a strip fumble, and a pick 6 interception. He threw 2 interceptions yesterday. They really miss Saquon Barkley. They really do. Without Saquon, this team offensively is not even a good and not even good offensive team without Saquon Barkley. And he's only further improving his stock come free agency this year. So they're gonna definitely have to franchise him again and pay the money, because it only shows how great of a player he is for the Giant offense. You know what I'm saying? Because Matt Breida is not doing the job as the backup running back. I thought he could do something, not what Saquon Barkley could do, but at least he could do something. 14 carries for 30 yards. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good look for the Giants right now. They look overpowered. They look overmatched yesterday against the Seattle Seahawks. The offensive line is injured. They don't have Andrew Thomas on the left side. They lost a couple of offensive linemen during the game. You see on the sidelines, you see Daboll throwing the tablet at Daniel Jones, trying to fire him up. But guess what? Brian? Coach Daboll? He is not Josh Allen. I know you're trying to make him into Josh Allen, but he's just not Josh Allen. You just got to deal with his personality. The even keel personality doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. But Daniel Jones was running for his life the entire game, and the defense got shredded. Like I said, they don't get no pass rush. If it's not Thibodeau, they're not getting a pass rush. What happened to Leonard Williams? What happened to Big Cat? What happened to Dexter Lawrence? They're getting a big contract to apply pressure on the quarterback and stop the running game. You know what I'm saying? Kenneth Walker got 17 carries for 79 yards. The TD. Geno Smith, the stats don't look impressive on this game, but do they really need Geno Smith? Because I tell you something, when Drew Lock was in that game, he was moving the ball against that Giant defense too. I understand the Giants got 2 rookie cornerbacks. You got 2 rookie cornerbacks. I get it. They're going to go through some growing pains. But this team, after a divisional playoff appearance, we're expected to go back to the playoffs this year. And now they're standing at 1-3. The Cowboys and the Eagles are the class at division. And don't sleep on the Commanders. Don't sleep on them. I see them. They should have beaten Philly yesterday. But they lost in overtime to them. You know what I'm saying? And this was going to happen for the Giants, guys. All you Giants fans out there. You know what I'm saying? When the Jets don't play, I root for you guys. But, this is what the Giants got up next 2 weeks. They got the Dolphins, who were 2 weeks removed from dropping 70 points. And then after the Dolphins, they got the Bills right after. This team is standing at 1-5. After week going into week 7, 1-5. They're staring right at it. This team cannot afford to go 1-6. 1-5. But they're at the cusp of it. And who's responsible for that? Is Brian Daboll having the sophomore coach blues? As a rookie coach, he got more out of less. And this year he's not even getting a quarter of what he got last year from this team. The Giants need to do some soul searching. They need a team meeting. I heard the comments. Dexter Lawrence is gonna piss some people off. Okay, big boy. Maybe you should look yourself in the mirror and get to the quarterback before you go off and piss off teammates. Look yourself in the mirror and find out why you can't get to the passer on a consistent basis. Someone need to explain that. Somebody need to explain that to me. Big Cat, where you at? So that's it. I'm gonna stick. I'm not gonna talk too much about the Giants. They're not my team, but I do watch them. I like them. I got family members who are big Giant fans. So for me, it's no fun poking fun at the Giants. I don't have that type of hatred towards them. Like I said on previous podcasts, unlike the Yankees, I will just dig it in. I'll dig it in each and every time. But now let's get to our New York Jets Sunday night football. Well, I forget who's that girl that sings the opening anthem. What's her name? Carrie Underwood. Yeah, was that Carrie Underwood? Yeah, I'm gonna get to her a little later. She's a hot little thing there. But yeah, New York Jets lose to the Chiefs 23-20. You know what? The defending world champions got a lot of help from the referees. And before I get into the game, I'm trying to figure. I'm starting to believe that this possibly the NFL is possibly rigged. Because you can't for the life of me can't blatantly see a hold against Jermaine Johnson and act like you never saw it. That was so blatant. That man was waving his arms and everything. His freaking uniform, the freaking offensive lineman almost ripped off his whole uniform. That's how bad the hold was. No flag, but yet they called pass interference on Sauce Gardner after the ball was intercepted. Against Vale Scanley, whatever his name is. This guy's not Jerry Rice. And I thought the defensive rookie of the year should have got the benefit of the doubt on that call. And to be honest with you, it wasn't even pass interference. It was just two guys, little hand fighting. Nothing too big. Not in the fourth quarter. You don't call that in the fourth quarter. Let the guys play. Let the guys play that game. You know what I'm saying? But this is the problem with the team, though. I remember DJ Reed said early in the season, this team is going to be the 85 Bears, the 2000 Ravens. This defense is not even close to end those two teams. You want to know why? This game could have got real ugly in the first quarter because of that set defense. You can't spot the defending world champions 17 points and expect to win the freaking game. Yes, I did notice a little Carl Lawson appearance, a Tim McDonough appearance. I did notice that. But Bryce Huff is a machine as far as getting to the passer. He's a machine. Him Quinnen, and my main man, the world champion of roughing the passer, John Franklin Myers. My guy, the world champion of roughing the passer penalty. They do get to the quarterback. I got to say that. They do get to the quarterback. But I've seen issues with the defense. They were missing tackles. You know what I'm saying? That's been the problem for both New York teams is ability to tackle people. Both teams are suffering through that. As you saw Isaiah Pacheco, Jersey native, go for 20 carries, 115 yards, and a TD that goes with receptions at 43 yards. He was hyped to be in New Jersey. Hyped to be in New Jersey, playing in front of his home, in front of his family and friends. You know, Patrick Mahomes was pedestrian. Dare I say it? Patrick Mahomes, a great Patrick Mahomes, was pedestrian. 18 of 30, 203 yards, a TD, and 2 interceptions. But let me tell you where the game really changed for the New York Jets. It's when they go. That's where the game changed for the Jets. It gave the Jets a lot of momentum, a momentum that they needed for a very long time. And all of a sudden, we actually saw some competent quarterback play from Zach Wilson. Competent. And let me get into it. He was 23 of 39, 240 yards, 45 yards, 2 TDs, and a quarterback rating of 105.2. That's the best QB rating in his career. This guy is usually in the 60s in QBR. 105.2, best game of his career. What I saw in Zach Wilson was a guy that was making quick decisions, making the right reads. And most importantly, when the pressure got to him, his feet was solid, planted in the ground. He made his reads with determination, with confidence, and he made the throws where it needed to be. He made the opposite shoulder throws. We finally saw an appearance from Alan Lazar. We finally saw Randall Cobb make some big plays for him, and I saw an offense coordinator who was utilizing all his receivers in the game, where you saw Gibson doing some jet sweeps, some reverses to loosen up the Chiefs defense. Garrett Wilson, of course, he's going to do his thing. 9 catches for 60 yards. I mean, I do like the nine catches for nine catches, but I do want to be over 100 yards for nine catches. Anytime that will happen. Tyler Conklin, Uzama, I'm telling you, if Hackett can find a way to utilize both tight ends in the running game as well as the passing game, we could have something here. We could have something. I mean, we really could have something here. It could open things up for Lazard and Cobb, and of course, open things up for Garrett Wilson. I mean, this guy just gets open anyway. He could be doubled, triple team. He's going to find a way to get open. You know what I'm saying? I like I said, Zach Wilson looked competent out there. He wasn't skittish. He wasn't scared. He wasn't seeing ghosts. He knew what to do with the football. Now, let me tell you guys something, though. But before I say anything, before I go into that yet, there were some missed opportunities. He did miss Conklin on the throw to the end zone. He could have got a touch under that. Greg Zuerlein, who almost never misses a field goal before halftime. That's 3 points on the boards. That could have made a major difference in the football game. Zach was from the snap in the fourth quarter when they're trying to make a comeback in the fourth quarter. I have a different take on that whole situation. I felt that Zach Wilson was not prepared. I'm gonna say he was not prepared. He was expecting much more zip on that snap. I felt McGovern let him down with that little curveball, little lob snap. I honestly believe Zach Wilson, because of the play that was called, with the timing of it he was expecting a sharp snap, quick snap with speed to him to hit the receiver on the slant. That's what I believe that happened on that play. So I don't entirely blame Zach Wilson for that fumble snap. There was a few exchanges between him and McGovern That was kind of sketchy throughout the game. So I did notice that. But nevertheless, it's still missed opportunities that could have, put the Jets 20 to 23. It would be tied to that extent. But the one thing I'm gonna say this. Throughout the game, I'm hearing Chris Collinsworth wax poetic over Zach Wilson's play. Chris Collinsworth. Never saw Zach Wilson play in BYU. Okay, I'm in the East Coast. The East Coast, when it comes to college football, we only watch Big Ten, Pac-10, ACC, SEC games. We don't watch Mountain West games. I'm sorry. The only time I heard of Zach Wilson was on the combine. Was all over Channel 4 News when he made a across the. That's the only thing. That's the only time I knew was Zach Wilson. You know what I'm saying? If you want to sit there and talk about how, tell me how Trevor Lawrence plays, how Justin Fields plays. Yeah, I did see him play on TV since their sophomore year, respectively Clemson and Ohio State. I did see those guys play on TV. I see him play in national championship games too. So that's the only issue I had with that game, and also with the Taylor Swift nonsense. Come on, man. I know she's dating Travis Kelce. You know what I'm saying? I get it, but can we not put that girl on the screen every time the Chiefs score a touchdown or get a field goal? She's not that good looking. She's just plain Jane with red lipstick. Now, if you're talking about Carrie Underwood, oh hell yeah, you flick on her all the time, But I know Taylor Swift. She's just plain Jane, regular. And it was great to see Aaron Rodgers in the house, supporting the team. But here's an issue that I want to talk to you guys about. Let me put the link in the chat in the comments so you guys can, if you guys got questions, you want to jump in the podcast, definitely jump in the podcast. I saw something today with Brandon Tierney, in his show. Now, granted, guys, I'm not a big fan of Brandon Tierney. He said some real off the wall stuff, but he could be onto something here. As much before today's game, majority of us wanted Zach Wilson off the team, and we didn't want to even take a step. I didn't want him to take another step with the New York Jets before this game. I didn't want that to happen. I thought because of what Michael K said earlier in the week was because Woody Johnson loves his family. But Brandon Tierney said something that made sense to me, in that the fact that Zach Wilson is still a starting quarterback, the reason why they chose Trevor Siemian was because of Aaron Rodgers and his love affair with Zach Wilson, his best friend. That's his best buddy. He wanted to make sure that Zach Wilson was getting the reps he needed, and he wanted to protect Zach Wilson like a big brother. Now, if the Jets were to go against that or to sign someone like Carson Wentz, that could anger Aaron Rodgers to the point that next year he won't be playing for the New York Jets. That makes a whole lot of more sense than what Michael K was saying. And granted, I'm not a big fan of Brandon Tierney. He has said some wild shit over the past 12 months, said some wild stuff. But this time, he could be onto something. He could really be onto something. But nevertheless, I like the poise of the quarterback. He was composed in the pocket despite pressure. He was composed. Made the good throws. You know what I'm saying? The big play of the game was that 3rd and 20 in which Mahomes got 25 yards when Jermaine Johnson was being held. Clear as day. Everyone and their mama saw that. Everyone saw that in every household on Sunday night that he was held, except for the referees that was in the game. But now I believe there is some changes that's going to happen in which the teams could now challenge a penalty. Now, instead of doing that, how about you have your referees brush up on their on the rule book and make definitive decisions without going through that. I mean, people have been telling me the NFL is rigged, but yet that Jet game felt like the Montreal Screwjob with Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. It sure did feel that way to me. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. Maybe not. It sure felt like that to me. What do you guys think about that? Seriously, what do you guys think about that? Some wild stuff. The Jets really got hosed. Really got hosed on Sunday night. And I'm gonna tell you again. I'm gonna repeat it again. The first 9 minutes of the game looked scary. It could have been a bad situation, but in turn, you get that safety. It just turned the whole game around. The defense did something that this defense has not done. Was getting turnovers. That's the big thing. You gotta get turnovers. And this team, I know they missed Tony Adams, but definitely, I like what I saw from the New York Jets. I really did. But now they're 1-3 also. Now they gotta go into Denver and shut Mr. Payton up for all his comments he did. He said during the offseason, they have to go to Denver and blow the suckers out. I'm not talking about. I don't want to see a game of freaking 15-10 game. I need a 30-10 win, a 30-3 win. Because Sean Payton was talking a whole lot of smack, and he got lucky winning against the Bears this past week. He got lucky. The Jets can't lose this game. I'm expecting the Jets come back home. You know, definitely. We're gonna beat Denver. We all gonna beat Denver. I'm confident that we come back home 2-3. Come back home 2-3. Keep doing what the Jets are doing. I like the offensive line the way it is right now. Tippett is doing a hell of a job at the guard position, blocking. The rookie guard. I just wish Vera Tucker could be in the guard position. We get a tackle, because I'm kind of worried with him out there. I mean, even though he plays tackle just as good he plays as a guard. You know what I'm saying? Just as good he plays as a guard. I want him back at the guard. You could get rid of Laken Tomlinson and put Tippett on the left guard. Let's make that happen and get a right tackle. Becton is fine, guys. I'm not worried about Becton. Becton is doing the best he can. At least he's staying on the field. He's not as dominant as I want him to be. Not yet. I feel he's getting close to being dominant back at the left tackle position. What you guys think? What you guys think? 2-3. Listen, we gotta get 2-3. We gotta get 2-3. So what you guys think? You guys want any comments? Definitely hit me up in the comment section. I am looking at the comment section right now. We're gonna be live for a little bit. I still want to talk about some Jets before I go into the Mets and the podcast. But definitely, what y'all think? I want people to join me on this podcast, man. I want people to jump in. If you ain't camera shy, you can come on this. You just click on the link. Even if you're on your cell phone, you can get on the podcast and tell me what you think about the Jets. Tell me what you think about the Giants. I'm here. We can talk about it. Nah. I didn't play football in high school. Nah, I didn't play football in high school. I was a baseball player. Yeah. But definitely. We could definitely get anybody was coming. You want to speak, you don't have to be on the camera. Put your voice on your cell phone. The link is in the chat. StreamYard.com, FMZ78AREHAK. Jump on this podcast. That's for real. I'm feeling good. We all feeling good right now because we finally have we finally saw the video of Zach Wilson. At least we hope we do. I'm not listen. I'm not putting him. I'm not saying he's a franchise quarterback. Yeah, the Giants had no chance. Daniel Jones had no chance, man. They couldn't block for him. They could not block for him. He was getting killed on the left side, around the corner, and inside. You know what, D? We hope Zach will be okay. We hope it. We hope it. I wasn't a believer last week, but if he continues with the poise and the composure in that pocket, we may be onto something. I mean, physically he got it. Physically he got it. It's just between the ears and the coaching. The coach has to put him in position to really make his talent stand out. And I felt they did that this past game with the play action passing, the rollouts. Definitely the rollouts was definitely what got him open. Got the receivers open, made him comfortable with the rollout passing. Definitely. But the key is the tight ends. You gotta use those tight ends. We got three talented tight ends. We got the rookie Rucker too. Don't sleep on him either. Create some new things. Maybe if you I'll put it to you like this: if you put Dalvin Cook in the backfield in certain formations, you could put Breece Hall in the slot and have him as a receiver. Different ways to utilize the running backs, the two running backs. You could even do that with Michael Carter too. Have Michael Carter on third down, be the third down back, and you have Breece Hall in the slot. Or you could do some real trickery stuff and put Bryce Hall on the outside and put Garrett Wilson in the slot. Create some real mismatches. Have Garrett Wilson on the linebacker. Dangerous. That'll be dangerous. I definitely agree with you on that. Rollout passes. Play action, rollout passes. It gives them the option to run for the first down or throw on the run. Absolutely. If you guys see me talking out of pocket, man, I'm just responding to the comments right now. This is good. This is good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I love my Jet team. The only wish I have for my Jet team is to play in Queens and practice at Hofstra. That's my only dream. And to be honest with you, I think that's the biggest curse on the Jets right now is the fact that they share a stadium with the Giants. I think that's the biggest curse. Have them play in Yankee Stadium or something, or have them play at Citi Field until they get the stadium built in Queens or somewhere. We got a lot of space over there in Queens. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, I expect next week against the Denver Broncos, I expect a big win. You got to drop 30 points. The next step for Zach now is, in my opinion, we drafted number 2. I understand we drafted the number 2. I understand that. But what I want to happen is I want this boy to start throwing for 300 yards consistently. That's what I want to happen. Because, out of all the quarterbacks we drafted, he has the least amount of 300-yard passing games. Out of all of them. Whether it's Mark Sanchez, whether it's Geno Smith, whether Sam Darnold, I believe they have more 300-yard passing games in the season than he does in his entire career. That's real talk. I'm still here, guys. I'm still talking about Jets. I'm still talking about Jets here. You know what I'm saying? Still talking about Jets here. I just can't wait till Breece Hall shakes the cobwebs out of his knees and he starts to be explosive again and he gets those home runs. Because I feel it, yo. When that boy was healthy last year, Breece Hall was, every time he got that hole, it was a home run waiting to happen. I see this man getting dragged after 50-yard runs. I'm like, wow, that's not Breece Hall right there. He's still recovering from his injuries. Still recovering from his injuries. You know what I'm saying? But also, I'm going to get into the Mets now. As much as I would love to sit there and talk about Jets, I may have to do another podcast for you guys, man. Just talk about Jets before the game on Sunday. I may have to do that. What y'all think? Should I do it? We'll talk about it. We'll decide something later because tomorrow's episode is gonna be with my bro Matthew from Jacobin Sports Show and Nick's Believe Pod. We're gonna talk about the big trade tomorrow about Damian Lillard going to the Bucks and Drew Holiday Celtics, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about NBA basketball because we're now in October. Training camp is about to start, guys. NBA and break for guys. You know, we'll break it down for you. But now let's get to the Mets. You know, I know we want to keep talking about the Jets and the happiness we have in seeing the improvement that we've been waiting for from Zach Wilson. We got to shift. We got to shift it a little bit. Talk a little bit about baseball. A little bit. The done is we have a change of manager. Buck Showalter was fired or let go. The new president of operations, David Stern's like, listen, I'm gonna bring in my own guy, and I get it. I honestly do get the reason why he would want his own guy to manage the Mets. I'm sorry about that. If you guys heard that, if I'm losing connection, let me know. But Buck Showalter did a decent job. First season, 101 games, and this year was kind of a letdown. It was a very big letdown because you had injuries. You had guys wasn't playing to their potential early in the season. The Mets finished off 74 and 87 on the season. You know what I'm saying? I felt the getting Verlander and Scherzer on the team kind of like set up a failure because they're older pitchers. You can't expect them to go back 6 years ago, even 10 years ago in their younger days to give the best production. It wasn't a good fit for either of them to come to the Mets. It was nice. It was a nice tease. For me, it was more like the owner was really trying to put a team together for the fans to be happy with and compete for a championship. I get that. Lesson learned that the buying talent does not always work. You got to develop it. Always got to develop talent. And I'm gonna talk more about this with my bro Matthew tomorrow. We're gonna be on tomorrow, guys, 8:00. Back-to-back episodes, True Player Podcast episodes. We'll talk about that as well. But I'm gonna mention a few things. Pete Alonso was not happy about the firing. Francisco Lindor was not happy about the firing. He made some comments, but Francisco Lindor was much more understanding than Pete Alonso. According to reports, was Pete Alonso had to be held back from going into Steve Cohen's office and talk to him directly. Bro, Pete Alonso, chill out. You got to get that contract first. You got to be a free agent after next season. Let's get that contract first. All right? I'm not in the business of trading you to another team. If I was GM, I'm trying to work an extension this offseason. Period. You mean too much to the franchise right now. Just take it easy. I understand you like Buck Showalter as a manager. I understand that. We get it. But this is business. This is what things happen. When a new CEO comes in, he's going to want to bring in his own guys. That's understandable. But you got to do your best foot forward and still continue to play with come in with hard work attitude that you've always been having, the leader that you are for this Mets team. They definitely need a leader. You know what I'm saying? I do feel bad for Buck. He was very emotional. He was very emotional during that press conference after the game. You know what I'm saying? Very emotional. I felt it, man. I felt it. I felt he finally got the opportunity of managing the Mets. He only had the opportunity to manage the Mets team for 2 years. Only for 2 years. This guy has been pushing to manage the Mets since, I believe, the mid 2000s when they fired Bobby Valentine. He wanted to come back. He wanted to come back to New York and play and manage the Mets. And he had the opportunity. He had the opportunity. He managed both the Yankees and the Mets. You know what I'm saying? As my issues going on with technical difficulties. But my question to you guys is, as Mets fans, who do you feel is going to be the next manager? You know what I'm saying? Who do you guys feel is going to be with? Two things I want to leave you with. I know I'm having some technical difficulties with the Wi-Fi, but I'm going to leave you with two things. Who should be the next manager of the New York Mets? Is Craig Counsell the answer? Is Carlos Beltran the answer? Is Eric Chavez the answer? Dusty Baker, is he the answer? We don't know what's going to happen with Dusty Baker over there in Houston. We don't know. I have another guy you could also think about too. He's been vilified for stealing signs with the Houston Astros. The manager, was it Auspice? Oh no, not him, not Auspice. What's his guy's name? AJ Hinch. AJ Hinch. Could he be a possibility? But definitely, guys, enough of this. Enough of this podcast. You know what I'm saying? If you guys have any questions, definitely hit me up. Message me, comment on this podcast. I may have to rerun this podcast again tomorrow. Rerun it again. Yeah. Yeah, yo, Brian, you know what it is, too? I feel you on that. I actually feel 2 years and let him go. I get it, but I thought he should have gotten a third year. But David Stearns wanted to go a different direction. I mean, he made the call. He told Steve Cohen, listen, I'm going to take this job, but I can't take Buck with me. It's definitely this right, but for me, it's kind of still messed up that happened. It really didn't. It messed up. That's messed up. He's a good person. He's a good guy. But I felt he was not given all the tools to win with this year with the Mets. Too much of the analytics. He's more of an old school manager, goes about on feel and strategy, not analytics. But definitely, I'll take Dusty Baker or Carlos Beltran. Let's make it happen. Let Dusty Baker come into the team, manage the team for a year or so, because Dusty Baker is up in age, and have Carlos Beltran as the bench coach, and then you do the seamless transition to Carlos Beltran to match the Mets for the future. That's what I would be going at. Definitely, that's what I would definitely be looking at doing. I want to give a big shout to my co-host Joey G. Joey G. Know what I'm saying? But definitely, guys, I'm gonna have to end this podcast. I would love to stay up all night and talk to you guys about baseball and basketball. I would love for you guys to just jump on the camera, even if you don't jump on the camera. The link is there. You can do the audio jump in. I'm all cool with that. I'm good with that, just to have my presence. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys in the comments. Damian, Brian, big shout out to you guys. Definitely jumping in the podcast with your comments. Definitely appreciate that. But you know what I'm saying? But tell your friends about the True Players Podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my Patreon channel. Subscribe to my Spotify channel if you want to listen to the audio version of this podcast. Take some notes down. You want to come back at me with some feedback? Definitely. You know who I am. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram at True Players Podcast on Instagram. Definitely hit me up on the comment section or in the DMs. I'm ready for you guys. You know what I'm saying? So this is your man, Big Dom. I'm going to sign off on it. You can definitely listen to the podcast on Google, Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. Soon to be on Amazon Radio. Soon to be back on radio.com. Work on some few bugs I have to work on. But definitely, I'm going to definitely be back on those platforms as well. It's your man signing off on this. It's your man, Big Dom, the GM, signing off on this podcast. I see you guys tomorrow with my guy, Matthew. Peace.